Genesis chapter 2 of the Wilson's translation. Genesis chapter 2 verse 1. So the heaven and the earth were finished, being created, and all the birds, animals, fish, and human beings that inhabit them. Genesis chapter 2 verse 2. And by the seventh day God had finished all his work which he had been doing, and God rested from all his work creating our world upon the seventh day. Genesis chapter 2 verse 3. So God blessed the seventh day, and he sanctified it, set it apart from other days, and called it holy. He did this because it was the day in which he had rested from all the work he did when he was creating our world. Genesis chapter 2 verse 4. This is the story of the origins of the heaven and of the earth when they were created, in the days of creation, when the Lord God created the earth and the heaven. Genesis chapter 2 verse 5. At this time no shrub, plant, or herb of the field had yet sprouted, for the Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not yet a man to cultivate the ground. But a mist or vapor rose up from the land and watered the whole surface of the dry land. And the Lord God formed the body of a man out of the dust of the ground with his own hands, and breathed into the man's nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being, individual, complete in body and spirit. Genesis chapter 1 verse 8. And the Lord God planted a garden in the east in Eden, which means land of delight and happiness. And the Lord God placed the man whom he had formed in Eden. Swapping pages, guys. Genesis chapter 2 verse 9. And the Lord God made every kind of tree that is good for food to grow in the Garden of Eden. And in the middle of the garden the Lord had planted the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Genesis chapter 1 verse 10. And there was a river that watered the Garden of Eden, and in the place where it flowed out of the garden it divided into 4 separate rivers. Genesis chapter 2 verse 11. The name of one of the 4 rivers is called Pishon. It is the river which runs through the entire land of Havilah, where there is gold. Genesis chapter 2 verse 12. And the gold of that land is good and pure. There is also bdellium, which is a fragrant, valuable resin. And there are several other precious stones. These stones are the onyx stone, pearls, and lapis lazuli. Genesis chapter 2 verse 13. The name of the second river we are recording is called Gihon. It is the river that runs through the entire land of Cush, also called Ethiopia, and the land of Mesopotamia. Genesis chapter 2 verse 14. The 4th river is called Hiddekel or Tigris. It goes toward the east of Assyria, also called Ashur, and runs along its eastern side. The 4th river is called the Euphrates and Para. Genesis chapter 2 verse 15. Then the Lord God took the man whom he had formed and placed him into the Garden of Eden, that the man might cultivate it and take care of it. Genesis chapter 2 verse 16. Then the Lord God said unto the man, You may freely and unconditionally eat fruit from every tree in the garden except one. Genesis chapter 2 verse 17. You shall not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. For if you should do so, that very day you would lose the covering of innocence and purity that keeps you so close to me, and you would be parted from me. Genesis chapter 2 verse 18. The Lord God said, It is not good for the man whom I have formed to be alone by himself. I will make him someone who will be a companion, and who will help him and balance him, and who will be suitable and complementary to him. Genesis chapter 2 verse 19. Before creating Adam's companion, the Lord God formed from the dust of the ground every animal of the field and every fowl of the heaven in order to find out what Adam would name them. And whatever name Adam gave each living creature, that was its name. Genesis chapter 2 verse 20. Therefore Adam gave names to all the animals, the fowls of the heaven, and to all the cattle. And then God was ready to make a companion comparable to Adam. Genesis chapter 2 verse 21. So the Lord God caused Adam to fall into a deep sleep. And while Adam was asleep, God took part of Adam's side and closed up the flesh in its place. Genesis chapter 2 verse 22. And the part of Adam's side which the Lord God had taken from Adam, God formed into a woman. And then God brought the woman unto Adam and presented her to him. Genesis chapter 2 verse 23. Then Adam said, At last I have someone. She is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. Genesis chapter 1, verse 24. Therefore shall a man leave from his father and mother's home, and shall cleave unto his wife. Swap the pages. Creating a new home with her, and they shall become one flesh and create a new family. Genesis chapter 1, verse 25. And both the man and his wife were naked, but they were too innocent to be ashamed.